Hello dear viewers, and welcome to the last battle of the Third Serval War, featuring Spartacus, the great rebel leader of the gladiators, who did a brave attempt to, break loose from the chains and escape Italy, but they have not been really lucky in doing that. They've been, disappointed by the Cilician pirates and all that, who they paid a lot of money to get away from Italy mainland to Sicily, but they betrayed him, and still the slave army is kind of trapped on the Italian peninsula here all the time, besieged or hunted by the Romans, especially Crassus in the end here. So we're still in the year 71 BC, and as said, and as you remember from our previous battles, Spartacus and his slave army is kind of slowly retreating northwards after breaking the siege down in Bruttium. So now he's up in Lucania, retreating northwards. The problem is now, though, well, first of all, he has Crassus hot on his heels, and secondly, we have the army of Gnaeus Pompeius, his Italian legions, or sorry, Spanish legions, I would say, or Hispanian legions, coming from the other side, from the northern side, and Spartacus and his army is really trapped now between these two armies, Crassus from the south and Pompeius from the north. So probably he had no other option than to, make a battle here, close to a river called Silarus, or Silarus if you want. It's not featured on the battlefield, this river, though. We have that much terrain here. We have a big ridge here where the slave army has been kind of arraying themselves. You can see the Romans are building. They are in the kind of, the building process of their camp here, really close by. So the armies are really close by. Pompeius' army is just outside of the map here, hindering pretty much Spartacus' army to retreat here. So this is a difficult situation for Spartacus now. And as you might know, this is actually, the day of this battle was the last day Spartacus saw. He went down in this battle. So it said here in the historical background that actually what has happened is that Spartacus has sent forth some skirmishers, as we can see here, harassing the Romans when they're building the camp. So we're seeing that in a part of the battlefield here. 3 skirmisher units against these kind of camp defenders here of lighter troops. However, this skirmish that happened, or this harassment, it just did draw more and more troops into the battle. So in the end, it became a big pitched battle here, where it's said that the slave army did charge the Roman line, and the Roman line was actually, when they both started to array for the battle, according to the historical background here, the Romans were able to put their battle line up first and were probably ready to advance when Spartacus' army has not yet arrayed themselves fully. So they got a bit desperate here, and for some reason, warriors from the slave army, gladiators and armed slaves, they charged forward towards the Roman lines, who were pretty solid. So they clashed with the shields, and the heavy fighting occurred. And it's said that Spartacus, before doing this charge, there's a famous happening here where he's killing his warhorse, kind of, making a statement by that I will fight to the end here, because if we win the battle, there will be plenty of horses that we can choose from, right, from the Roman camp. So I will get a new war horse. But if we lose the battle here, I don't have need for my trusted war horse anyway anymore. So yeah, quite a strong statement there. And yeah, and that latter option actually happened, or that latter event, when he actually fought to the death here. So as said, the gladiators charged forward and the slaves clashed with the Romans. Spartacus were kind of picking up the mood, and he saw what was happening, seeing that the Roman line held and were cutting down the slave army in a terrible pace. They have big losses during this charge. So Spartacus had to do something to, to turn the tide of this battle, more or less. So he took probably some hand-picked men, his most trusted gladiators and warriors that was still alive. I mean, they have seen many battles already, as you also know. And he aimed to wade through the Roman lines to Crassus and actually kill him by his own hands, and in that way kind of break the morale of the Roman army. So he attacked, and it's said that his troops even killed 2 centurions of the Romans here, but eventually it was just a too thick line of good soldiery in between him and Crassus. So he, at some point, the historical background said he was struck by an arrow and killed by that. Another account, I think it was by Appian, he said that Spartacus got a spear impaling his leg. So he went down on his knees among the Roman lines here, surrounded by his trusted troops. So he couldn't move. He got pretty much immobilized there, but he didn't give up. He continued to fight on his knees, basically. And the Romans were, surrounding them and closing into Spartacus, and eventually overwhelmed him and killed him. However, it's said that Spartacus' body was never found in the piles of dead that littered the field here. So we really don't know how he was killed or what happened, really. But, Appian knew for some reason that he got a spear through his leg and then killed later on. And this account says that he was struck by an arrow. So I don't really know what happened there. Anyway, there's much more tragic to this. So, as said, Spartacus was dead. Of course, the cause of this rebellion and this battle was over. So, or lost. So many gave up. Others managed actually to escape, probably through the first avant-garde of Pompey's army who's approaching here. But actually a few thousand did escape, but they were later captured and I think killed by Pompeius. And the thing is there, I think this was a reason for Crassus to grind his teeth, because kind of the last action that happened over there with those slaves who escaped and Pompeius took care of, that was really the last action of the war. So Pompeius did actually end the war. And of course, he was not quick to, get glory from that event. So that must have been a real big disappointment for Crassus. Anyway, it said that 6,000 of the slaves did give up here to Crassus on this battlefield. But he gave them a harsh treatment. They were crucified, all 6,000 of them, on the Via Appia, the road leading from Rome. So a really grim ending there for all those poor slave army people who got caught here after this battle. So that's the story of this, and the story of Spartacus' demise, really. So, looking at the background then, or the war council, I would rather say, we had a slave army led by Spartacus, of course, and a Roman army by Crassus. We have 5 command cards in the slave hand and 6 for Crassus or the Roman army. This is one of the few battles we were seeing the Romans having more cards than the slave army actually in battle. I think this has been one more or one other scenario where the Romans have the upper hand in cards. But that was a battle where Spartacus was not present. I think it was, you remember the battle where the Gaul Crixus, that leader, got killed and his head served on a silver plate to the Romans. But otherwise, we are always seeing Spartacus army with the better or larger card hand, I'd say. But this time we have 6 cards for the Romans. The slave army will though move first. And if you look at here, we have loads of units. This is a big battle. So it's a bit, well, I was surprised that it's only 6 banners. I was expecting 8 or at least 7 banners for this, but it's a 6 banner fight, so it could be over pretty soon, really. We have some special rules as well. Okay, here's the thing that raised a question mark for me, but let's read it first. So a slave unit that captures occupies the camp hex counts as a victory banner for the slave player. As long as the slave unit remains on the hex, it counts towards the slave victory. If it moves off or is eliminated, it no longer counts. Okay, so that's cool. We know that rule from previous battles. If you enter a camp, you get a banner for that, as long as you stay on that camp. But the thing that raised the question mark for me is, it says captures the camp. But looking at the battlefield, there's 2 camps. So I assume it's just a typo, so probably they mean both of these, right? So, I mean, also they will get 1 victory banner for each of these camp hexes. That's how I will play it anyway. I hope I do it correctly. But honestly, I have a hard time seeing how the slave army can reach both of them, actually. Maybe this one, but this will be hard for them, that's for sure. Then, second special rule. Because Pompey's army is advancing on the army of Spartacus from the rear, any slave unit that is forced to retreat from the last row of the battlefield, where it would normally lose 1 block per retreat hex, will simply lose the entire unit, not just 1 block per each remaining retreat hex. These rules applies if the unit occupies the last row hex and is forced to retreat, or if it retreats into the last row hex with additional retreat hexes remaining. Eliminate the unit immediately and award a Roman player victory banner. Okay, so for whatever reason, the slave army needs to retreat out from the board, and by that kind of losing blocks, it will instead lose the entire unit, because Pompey's advance guard is just here taking care of those fleeing units. Then we have 2 rules that we have seen many times now. We have the Marius Legions rule in effect, throwing Pila for medium heavy infantry. And then we have I am Spartacus slave player rule in effect. And I still don't know or remember if we have seen that. I don't think so. It has never happened so far that Spartacus got this card in his hand. That would be awesome and epic to see him getting that card in this last battle. That would be cool. Because that would be a big if also. What would happen if the slave army would have won this battle? Well, probably not that much, to be honest. We have Pompeius coming in. So even if he's, exhausted army would win the day here, Pompeius will come with a fresh army and another battle would take place, and I'm quite sure that would still end the story of Spartacus Revolt. Well, that's just a what if, but anyway, that's what I think. So I think we're ready with the background and the War Council and the special rules, so we can look at the board itself. And as said, as you can see, it's quite a huge armies here arrayed towards each other, and there's some peculiar things here as well. First of all, we have this big ridge where, well, it looks like the slave army is really arraying for battle. They have, not a connected line, some units and clusters here and there. By the way, we have Spartacus here, two nameless leaders, and we have Crassus in the center of the Roman line with two nameless leaders as well on his flanks. So, as said, we are seeing the slave army arraying for battle, while the Romans are already kind of set up for the battle. They have a nice line with legionaries here, actually 9 of them here with 3 leaders. Really crazy, that's a real juggernaut. And on the flanks here we have some lighter troops, light infantry and an auxilia. And then we have the camp area here where we have also 2 light infantry and an auxilia guarding the ramparts and some camp hexes here. Then we have this, what I said, peculiar thing. What I think we have 5 Roman cavalry units. You don't too often see that. At least not this early of the Roman. Well, I wouldn't say empire yet, but yeah, you know what I mean. Roman armies are, in this time, it's not too cavalry crowded. So, and what's more peculiar is that we have 3 light infantry and 2 medium heavies that I think are the legionary cavalry, but I don't really sure who are these guys, the 3 light cavalry units here. Who do they represent? Is it just maybe this is a bit more zoomed in battle when these are maybe 1 or 2 legionary cavalry units consisting of different, cavalry parts. So we have some lighter and some heavier kind of sub-units here, if you can say so. I don't know, but anyway, we have 5 cavalry units and 3 light of them. So yeah, that's a pretty new thing for the Romans here to see. On the slave army side, as I said, we have 9 legionaries here, but they are matching this really good. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 medium heavies or warrior units. So it's kind of even matched, and we also have 3 leaders over there. So there could be a really, really big battle here in the center with the heavier troops. That would be cool, because they're also flanked by some lighter units. But the slave army has pretty much kind of divided up their light flanks into the infantry light or light infantry flank and light cavalry flanks. We have 3 light cavalry there and an auxilia on the hill, and then we have 3 lighter infantry here, 2 light infantry and 1 auxilia. So that's cool. So for the plans then, of course it would be nice to just play it historically, charging with the slave army, kind of in a last hurrah into these solid Roman lines, which kind of would be suicide, I believe. But I will of course first try to array up the slave army here and see what cards we get. If we get some good cards, we would charge, I'm sure. Otherwise, we wait for the Romans, because the thing is the Romans need to fight uphill. And we could actually wait, because we could also play it on this flank as the slave army player more heavily, trying to get those banners by these camps with some skirmishing. If we are lucky with the skirmishing, the bad thing is though these guys are in cover, so they don't retreat too easy. But we can wait, we could get some additional support in the skirmish fighting here by the light cavalry actually. The Romans could answer to that cavalry threat by their own big cavalry mass. So these guys will for sure get support by the Roman cavalry here. They can quickly go either way around this camp if they want. So it will be a difficult task, but still we could see what happens. If we are lucky, starting to grind these guys down, we might make a push up here with also supported by these auxilia. So by that, maybe the Romans are actually wanting to having the action starting in the center instead. So they might be actually starting to advance, trying to get the foothold up in the hill and try to hit from there, you know. But this will be a hard fight. It's very even. It's so even. Oh, by the way, I was counting wrongly, I believe. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 medium heavies, because there's an auxiliary in the center here. I did miss that, sorry. So a bit heavier Romans. So maybe that would make sense then to build a defense line on the end of this ridge here, holding against the Romans who can only attack up with 2 dice. So let's see. And for the flanks here, I don't know. Well, if we got a lot of left-hand cards or right-hand cards for the slave army, they might approach each other and exchange some javelin throwing there. That could probably happen. Anyway, we said that, let me see again. Yes, the slave army will actually start. So we're gonna see what they have in slots A and B. Coordinated attack. And 3 units right. So actually we have some stuff over here that could happen. We could also use that coordinated attack to link up these big forces a bit. Let's see. So we're going to roll for what card we can play. That's actually a tactics card or lowest order count. So lowest order count will be either one of these two. So I would either do the coordinated attack, and then we could... well, we could actually move these guys. This from the center, this from the right-hand side. They could occupy these 2 hexes. Then we have linked all these units, and these guys could actually... we could move up those guys there. Yeah, that's actually a good thing. Or we would play 3 on the right, and we could... start doing some harassment here. That's 2 interesting options actually. I'm gonna start this game by rolling for it. That's fun. So 1, 2, 3, it will be the coordinated attack. 4, 5, 6, I will start with some skirmishing on harassing the Roman left flank. That's a 5. So we're gonna start with the harassment option then. So Spartacus is waiting a bit with his guys, waiting to see what the Romans does before he starting to really array his troops. And in the meantime, he's telling his lighter right-hand flank to advance and throw some javelins on the legionaries. So I'm going to go forth here with these guys. And actually I will just advance with the light infantry over here and here. And the auxilia will actually occupy the hill here, giving a bit more boost to this big line here. And here we're going to throw against that legionary unit. 2 attacks with 1 die. Here comes the first, hoping for a blue. No, second attack. And that's a blue. Great job there by those skirmishers. I mean, these could be important, you know, in the end game. All these small block losses can be really important when the big clashes start. So I think that's a really cool start by the slave army here. Okay, so we go to the Roman army. So we have 2 cards in slot A. It's 4 unit right. Okay, really big thingy over there. We could start with a skirmishing. We could move maybe this guy a bit, you know, be ready to strike. Then we have an inspired center leadership card. Could be one of these 2. We could start moving forward the legionaries, basically. Or we could do some cavalry movement. And in the B slot, a counterattack, okay. But we're gonna see what the Romans can play. Okay, they also got tactic cards or lowest order count. So that would be the counterattack, which would be order right left for them. So they could actually answer to this threat here, but the counterattack is such a good card, so I don't know. Or I would need to play the one with the lowest order count of these two. So it's 4, or actually this would be 5 units. So I need to play that, or 4 unit rights. And I think I need to do this then. So we're gonna, both sides start skirmishing on their right hand side. So these guys will try to scare off those approaching light units there, basically. So I'm gonna order all these. They're gonna throw a lot of javelins. We could also take this guy. I think I want to do that actually. I'm gonna break 1 cavalry unit off the main line here and put him 1, 2, 3 here, ready to strike. Yeah, so let's start with this guy actually against. He only has 1 target. And the thing is, since he is in a fortified camp, he can only throw a 1-die attack. Yes, it's a bit you know, thin lines on the walls here. That's a miss. Then we have, let's start with the other flank. I'm going to throw it over here because those guys are not supported, so we might get them to run away. It's 2 dice. Nothing. Then we have the auxiliary in the center. They will attack that unsupported light infantry. And nothing. A bit bad skirmishing here happening from the Roman side though. They got more dice to throw actually, but no hits. But this could be important. We could strike, you know, if we could weaken up these guys, we could strike at them because they cannot evade, you know. Let's see. Do that. And then let's get back to the slave army. That's an A or a B. Coordinate attack. Yeah, okay. I was just confused what we played last time. Medium troops. That's a good card actually to have later, but that could actually help me to array the units pretty good. I mean, we can order, let me see, that's 5 units. I think I'm gonna play that already, even though that would be a really nice card to have later on in the game. But I will play it now. We have our chance now to array our troops. So 5 units, and I will order 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh. I don't think I want to order any one of these actually. So I'm going to just order these 4, and they will now move like this. Move up these guys to the ridge. These guys, well, let's still keep them on the higher ground. And then move up these guys. The nice thing is we have a big and heavy line of troops now here. So line commands and double times and all those, right? We're waiting for those. So the first side who gets a good card to do something here will probably do the attack. We could actually move forward the Romans 1 hex to provoke those guys to come down from that hill. That could be something. Okay, Romans. A, B, or C. So we have the inspired left leadership, these guys. We have the center leadership that we already had last turn, one of these 2 guys. We have the counterattack that would be medium troops, but 6 of them. Really nice. We could we could detach the first line to move them forward one step, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. I'm waiting for a line command to do this big thing here. And then we have 2 units left. Okay. Should we just answer to those? We want to scare away some of those skirmishers harassing our flank, I believe. Inspire left or inspire center. That would be 5 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The thing is, we could, if we could play these 2 in combination. It could be something like a line command, but in two steps, kind of. You see, if I first start and take the left one, I move them forward, and then next time I do the center, I move them forward. Then the whole bunch is up here. I could do it that way. I could also start with, before I do that, I mean, trying to scare away a few of those skirmishers first. So since I rolled for the slave army, I will this time also roll for the Romans. So 1, 2, 3, I will place one of these 2, probably the left, and then 4, 5, 6, I will play the 2 units left. Okay, so we will not do the skirmish option. We will actually start with the left leadership. So it will be this guy plus 4 units. So I'm gonna now start moving forward. Let's take this 1, 2, 3, 4. I could use those because now I could actually order 1 more unit, so I could still do some skirmish action here. Like this is the leader plus 4 linked units. So that's a valid one. So let's see now. Let's see if we can provoke those guys to come down. I'll go. Let's go this way. Like that. We can actually throw some Pila as well, so I'm gonna keep those activated. And these guys will just stay and throw a 2 dice javelin attack against that light infantry there. Let's see what happens. Oh, what a roll. 2 hits. A super hit there by those guys. Oh my. Perfect. Okay, then we have 1 javelin, or 1 dice javelin throws to do. And I mean, these would be really provoking against us because these guys can just stay here and throw Pila every turn. So we are really forcing those guys to come down now, and that's cool. So let's see if we can do some damage on them first. We'll try to hit Spartacus himself, starting from here. Looking for blue, and directly a blue. Oh my, this rolled so good now. And we're also gonna check if Spartacus survived that. Oh man, this is crazy, almost fell. We're gonna continue with the same guy. Next legionary unit, that's a miss. And the third one, another miss. But this is crazy. And the Romans are still linked up even though their left flank started to move forward. This is cool. Let's see. Now we have slave army again. I think they're forced to come down soon. C or lowest order count. And in slot C we have a mounted charge. Otherwise it will be a coordinated attack. Well, mounted charge I will not do. So I need to play the coordinated attack, but I wonder what I want to do with that. Do we really want to charge? Maybe not on this flank yet at least. So let's just activate. Let's just... I wonder what I'm going to do. I'll actually bring up some more troops here. And here I was thinking of actually starting the attack. Doing a wild attack here. So I'm going to go... these from the right hand side and these guys from the center. So Spartacus is already doing what I told about in the... Oh, he was hit once. Oh, he only has 3 blocks. Oh man, I wait with him. I wait with him. He's not yet charging. He is waiting on this hill. Oops. Knew that gonna happen. Okay, so he's waiting here with his medium heavies, and instead we take these guys from the center who goes down, the warriors, to fight. I mean, both have still leader support here. That's good, and he's safe. These guys will actually rush up to form a line here. I'm preparing maybe to do an assault over here eventually. Okay, so now the big clash actually already begins. This is gonna be epic. I start here hitting that already crippled unit with 4 dice. With the support. That's 2 hits on the legionaries. They are down to 1 block, but they're still standing and fighting back, also with leader support. Thanks to that, they also inflicted 2 hits. So fierce fighting going on here. But now you see what I meant. This is down to 1 block now, thanks to the initial skirmish that we did here. And these guys, they will attack the next unit here. 4 dice, and we have leader support. 2 hits again and a flag. The flag they will ignore, and they will battle back, also with leader support. Inflicting 1 hit on the warriors, but that's bad enough because now they're down to 3, 3 dice in combat. But still, kind of an exchange happening here. Both sides killing off a lot of units, but you can see their Romans are thinning out here now, but they have a full legionary unit backing them up, but we have more gladiators to come as well. Interesting. Romans. It's time to retaliate. Tactics card or lowest order count. The tactics card would be a counterattack, which would mean a coordinated. Or we would need to play, let's see, probably this one. Yeah. We have leadership any section, that would be 4 units, and it's 5 units, and that's 2 units. So we need to play the coordinated attack or 2 here. I will play the 2 over on my right hand side as a Roman player, and I will activate these 2. I will actually bring these guys back and fill the gap with these legionaries with a leader and attack. 4 dice. We need 2 hits. Kind of a bad roll by the Romans. They only inflicted 1 hit. So the slave army guys there are fighting back. Inflicting 1 hit as well. And we're gonna check the Roman leader as well. He's good. And that's all. I was hoping to get these guys to be killed or retreated away, then we could go in, attack once more since we had the leader, but that didn't happen. Okay, slave army, your turn. Okay, they also got, oh, I wonder what will happen now. I probably need to check the rules for the Solitaire system. We have only one card and we got tactics card or lowest order count. Do we have to play the mounted charge or can we bring up another card? I'll check that up and be back in a sec. Here we go then. So here's the tactic card. If there's only one or no face-up cards in the display flip, any one face down, face up until there are two cards face up. So we can actually, let's just take slot A then. So we have a light troops or the mounted charge to play. Okay. Not a good one in this situation, to be honest. Really, really crap. And the mounted charge I will not play, so I need to play the light troops now, and that's 5 of them. So what I need to do is I could of course start some battling here now. And I would also doing some bombard here, right? But it's too bad we are leaving these guys alone. These guys will be killed probably. But I will try to get these guys. So I will order these two. Could order 3 more. Maybe I could now start the advance here, and I will also throw some javelins. So these guys will go here. These guys will go here, and these guys will throw some javelins. Yeah. Not an optimal one, but okay. Yeah, let's do it like that. These guys will not move, they will just throw some javelins there. So let's start on this flank. 2 dice. If we get the blue, we get the first victory banner for this scenario. We didn't, and we got 2 of these, and I think the Roman player is really happy to get 2 flags now, because now these guys get away. Too bad for the slave army player there. These guys will try to decimate those guys once more. Not successful though. They have the shields up in a good way here, taking those javelins without losses. And here then, well, my plan was to attack with the auxiliaries against the light infantry in both sides here. But we should prepare with some throwing here. So we're gonna do that first here. 2 dice. They can ignore 1 flag. That's the flag. No hits. Then we attack up the ramparts. Now's the question. Do I want to... They will get 3. We can ignore the one of those... let me see. 1 flag and 1 crossed sword symbol. Yeah. I wonder if we should... No, I need to keep... I try to keep my positions here. So I allow those auxiliary to attack. 3 dice. We can ignore that, but that's a hit. And we fight back with 2 dice. No hits. Same thing here. I don't want to give this away because that's a victory banner, so I'm gonna stay and fight. So we have the auxilia with 3 dice. They ignore 1, but they took 2 hits. And now they battle back with only 1 die, because you lose 1 die battling out from a fortified camp. And they missed. So this is going pretty well for the slave army now. They are grinding these guys down here. Maybe we need some help from the cavalry now, and we could also throw in some legionaries here actually. This was too bad. It would be a nice victory banner, but nope. And let's also play the Roman turn. D or E. That's two cards we don't know of. That's exciting. So D. Double Tom. Here it is. But we are kind of out of range here. Would be nice to get up the hill, you know. But let's see what we have in E as well. Light troops as well. Oh. Oh. We could also, of course, just do a double time with these guys. We can get a foothold now up the hill, you know. I'm also actually tempted to play the light troops because we can fight back now. We could also send in our light cavalry. We could continue here. Hard decision again. You know what I do when it's a hard decision? My brain cannot calculate what's best to do, so I'm gonna just let the gods decide. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, we play the double time. 4, 5, 6, we play the light troops. The light troops it is. So Crassus decides to push on his flanks now. And we can do up to 6 units. So we're gonna throw the javelins here. We're gonna let's take these guys as well, and then here then what's here we can fight back, that's for sure. Do I want to fight out with these guys? Probably not. Maybe we instead should activate some light cav. So now I have 5 light units activated. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's take another light cav then. Okay, so these guys will actually take 2 steps like that. That will be a close combat. These guys will move up to anchor the line here. These guys will not move. These will move. One, and these will move 1, 2, 3, 4. Just getting them ready. And these guys, we will only have 1 javelin. So we'll this is actually close combat. All right, let's see. That was 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, okay. So let's start here. We're gonna throw the javelins first. It's 2 dice. 1 hit. That's pretty awesome. Because now these lights will rush in a close combat, try to finish them off. 2 dice. Looking for a green. Swords do not count, and we got no flags either. So these guys are actually standing the ground, fighting back with 2 dice. Nothing. So just light troops harassing each other here. But we got 1 by the javelin throw, so they are kind of getting in danger there. Here then, 1 die attack against Auxilia. Oops, let's do that again. Miss, that's a blue. And then we have these guys who will attack down with 3 dice. Well, wrong die. Sorry, roll the 3rd one. That's 2 hits. Pretty good. No flags, so they will fight back with 3. We can ignore 1 flag. We can ignore 1 sword symbol. Nothing. Bad roll by the slave army auxilia unit there. So the Romans are really holding on to this line here. They have a good unit in the center that's kind of anchoring the whole thing here together. yeah, pretty cool. But we're seeing units on both sides getting really weak. These Roman Legion units were really, really lucky to get away. And I'm a bit surprised we don't have not one victory banner yet, right? So, yeah. I mean, as I see it, it has been pretty intensive already. That's cool. I liked how this battle has gone so far. Big battle with the heavy guys duking it out here in the center. We soon probably wouldn't see more warriors charging in here. We might see the double time activated by the Romans soon, you know, getting up there, attacking these guys and all that. Let's see. I mean, this part 2 will be really exciting. I'm sure of that. It seems that maybe the slave army charge on that camp failed. Now they have boosted the lines. We still have some weak guys here, of course, but this blow was really hard for the slave army, the counterattack from those ramparts there. Yeah, but as I said, still no victory banners dealt. Even we have some guys in the dead pile already. So let's see who gets the first banner in part 2. So thank you guys for watching, and be sure to be back for part 2. Bye for now.